embracing opportunities. We claimed it in the title of this talk. So embracing opportunities, where do you think, I don't know, some examples of low-hanging fruit?
Yeah, well, if you're not engaged in platforms, that would be the foundation, right? Really understand how we live in a platform economy now. 15 years ago, it was a novel idea and very few companies were engaged. But now, everywhere we look, there are platforms. There's even dog walking platforms, right? If you need help walking your dog, there's a platform called Rover where you can do that. And then there are very sophisticated, complex platforms like Schneider Electric, which provides energy efficiency solutions and zero carbon solutions for companies trying to reduce their emissions. They help bundle and aggregate lots of renewable supply to be able to deliver clean energy. So the platform world ranges broadly. And so I think that's number one is get people on your team, if you don't have them already, who understand how platforms operate. They're pretty fundamental economic dynamics that come into play. And then there's organizational and governance. And then recently, more and more regulatory issues with data become important. So pulling all these pieces together. And then, as I mentioned earlier, not just delivering goods and services, but also thinking about experiences as a way to engage and reward customers. And so there are platforms now that specialize in that. There was a recent announcement by Starbucks that they're redoing their loyalty program that's going to look at digital assets. They're recognizing that it's not just your home, your work in Starbucks, what they call the third place, as being a physical place. It's also going to be a digital place. Blending all these things together can really differentiate a company and put them at a competitive advantage as we move into this new world of digital and metaverse. And, it's pretty exciting, all the things that are happening.
To add to that, with all the benefits you listed, it's also attracting the best talent. It's attracting new generations as the customers, as employees, as your partners, and just generating more excitement around the business. So isn't it a fantastic way to do so?
Well, as I write a Substack newsletter called Platform Professional, and what's become pretty clear is that going to business school is good. You can get a good job, but if you combine business school with a deep understanding of platforms, you're incredibly well positioned to have an exciting career. There are just hundreds and hundreds of jobs now that where companies are looking for people with specific marketplace and platform related talent. I track these. I just wrote an article about companies in Europe that are looking for platform talent. And in the United States, BlackRock, for example, has a job out right now for a platform professional. Bridgestone, the tire company, they're building a platform team right now. Because they're looking at opportunities in the automotive space for marketplaces and building an ecosystem that can provide more services to customers, right? And so the automotive sector is changing dramatically. Most people don't think of NFTs and automotive companies together, but there's actually quite a number of companies that are in the automotive sector that are experimenting in this space because of, the connected car, new ways to shop online while you're in your vehicle. And then as we move to EVs are all about networks and platforms. You need to have charging stations. And so an interesting announcement is Starbucks just announced a corridor between Denver and Seattle in which they're going to put charging stations at Starbucks stores. And so you think about charging your electric vehicle, it takes longer than pumping gas, and you don't have the smell and kind of the nastiness of your old style filling station. It's going to be clean. And so anyway, companies like Starbucks are looking at building out charging networks so that they can attract people who need to recharge the vehicle and upsell them things that Starbucks do, right? Which is obviously coffee and
brilliant idea. Spend
Yeah.
time, right? Interact with whoever and do your work maybe, or do whatever important to you at that moment while consuming Starbucks
Yes,
products.
exactly. So most
Fantastic.
people don't think about
Yeah.
EVs and platforms together, but totally possible. Another space that I'm super interested in is how do you reward people for coming to an event in an electric vehicle? So why not issue them an NFT? Thousands, hundreds, millions of people go to sporting events and concerts every year. What if those companies that sponsored those events issued people NFTs if they come in an electric vehicle? You could do cross-marketing campaigns with companies that are trying to get people to buy electric vehicles. So I think you said low-hanging fruit, yes, but what I think is more interesting are complex integrations that happen between companies that typically don't talk to each other. Like Live Nation, which is the largest festival promoter in the world, millions of people 70 million people this year will buy tickets to Live Nation shows. Imagine if Live Nation did a cross-marketing campaign with a big automaker and said, hey, let's do a deal. We'll reward people who buy your car with special benefits if they come to our events, because people buy a car actually to do things like go to a concert to see their favorite artist. So, and then the artists are under pressure to do green events. So there's tremendous synergies that could be created by designing and creating the right platform that bring together these different use cases into a bigger use case that is also good for the planet, right? We're going to need to transition to a cleaner energy world. So let's get people who are excited, young people who want to go to a concert, and reward them for going in a green vehicle.
First of all, thank you so very much. Fantastic talk. I totally get it, how you work with clients in a way that assesses their strength, what their selling points, what make them the business, and really advising on combining, that energy with other brands they could not even think about before.
Exactly.
So amazing times. Wow, this is exciting.
Beautiful thing is that the platforms exist to be able to do this at scale. So big companies, if it's not 500 million or $1 billion, they don't have time for it. So you really need to come to the table with really big, important ideas that can move the needle, right? Which is very different from the way people currently kind of focus on the NFT marketplace, which are these PFPs and kind of I don't know, they're smaller, interesting, but I think the big opportunities are when big companies come into play, and they have lots of resources and already huge customer bases in the millions and millions of people.
The real potential in the volume, that's what I hear, right? The volume of transaction, the volume of engagement, right? And how to even multiply. Yeah, wow. This is energizing. Absolutely. Peter, thank you so much for this talk today. Why don't we leave the audience with few takeaways?
Sure.
Because we did discuss a lot of angles to the opportunities there. So Web3, metaverse, we said platform economy, experience economy. Few takeaways, please.
It's hard to take all of this in at once. You have to sort of build towards it. So I would start with platforms, really understand how platforms work, how network effects work, how you grow scale, solve things like chicken and egg problems that are common to platforms, and then understand how they can integrate with others. So I think understanding platforms and then the platform to platform integrations are super interesting, and there's lots of opportunities in those spaces. And then start thinking about how those can be tokenized. And that's where the Web3 comes in, using blockchain technology, because it opens up new ways to create incentives for exchange, but also reward contributions for things that otherwise wouldn't be rewarded. So fans that help you create or help you promote your brand or your activities, right? And so tokens and awarding them tokens can be a way to incentivize them to do that more. So we're going to see solutions that emerge that really bring all of these features together in exciting ways. And, we're all human and we want great experiences. So don't think about platforms just as exchanging goods and services, but also how you can blend them with unique experiences. That's really what people energizes them and gets them to be your really loyal, what they call super fans.
Amazing. You helped me, Peter, in this short talk, okay? You already restructured some of my thinking. Incredible, incredible. I'm sure the audience find the value in this. Peter, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's wonderful being on your show.